Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be dyeing these jumpsuits right here in the event of getting ready for Comic Con. It is my sister's first time attending, so she is very excited and she wanted to cosplay as one of her favorite characters from Skip Beat. Kyoko is her name, so she wears this suit. So we're going to get started by adding our water. If you look at the instructions, it doesn't give you precise measurements, but you kind of have to guess depending on how much fabric you're using. So I went ahead and put about a gallon's worth. Now this pot is still too small for the jumpsuits I'll be using, but I'm gonna go ahead and do my best with what I have. I've never worked with this particular dye. Usually the dyes I work with are in powder form and I mix them to create the dye lot that I need. But this I thought would be a lot easier and super fun. So normally when I do dye, I check with a piece of fabric, a scrap fabric, to see how the color is looking like. So this was me trying to do that. It's a little different than what I'm used to. So right now I went ahead and rinsed the jumpsuit. That's why it's dripping everywhere, just to get any starches or anything of the chemicals from when it got processed washed out. And then I'm going to go ahead and put it inside the pot slowly and just do my best to really mix it in. That way I get a pretty even color. And I did intend to use one dye bottle for both jumpsuits, so we'll see how that turns out as well. So this is the second jumpsuit that I'm going ahead and put in. As you could tell, I took the other one out, laid wax paper on there as well so I didn't get the counter wet. And then I used a top of a plastic tub as well, that way there was less leakage. So as you can see right here, there's still little white spots from the fabric. So I'm just going to go ahead and really push it in. That way it can really catch the dye and have an even distribution of the color. Now I'm going to go ahead and place both jumpsuits inside the sink in preparation to rinse off all the dye. And it's definitely going to be an arm workout for this. So for the vinyl on the logo, I went ahead and sectioned out the logo. And I'm just taking my time and taking any unwanted piece very carefully. That way it doesn't transfer into my jumpsuit once it's ready. So this is a jumpsuit all washed. I did put it in the washing machine and dried it in the dryer, and this is what it turned out. I was pretty happy with the color on both jumpsuits. So I'm going to go ahead and iron it. Probably not the best thing I should be using, but it's what I had, and it was also 4 in the morning, so I just wanted to hurry up and get to sleep. This was a very last minute project. We didn't decide to attend till pretty much the week, and then we ordered our jumpsuits and they were way too big, so then we had to reorder our jumpsuits and they came in, and it's off to the finish line into getting at least one jumpsuit, which is what actually ended up happening, is because at this time of me filming and preparing my sister's jumpsuit, it was the night before Comic-Con, or I should say the morning of, and I was very lucky to even get one done. But I was happy to get it done for her. It's her first one attending, so I just wanted to make sure she had a great experience. So as you can see, I have a little extra blue piece on the side. It was too big on the machine, so I had to have a secondary piece cut. That way I can attach it to it and it could be the size that I wanted it. I could have gone smaller, but just because of how big the back is, I wanted the logo to really stand out. So I decided to go big with it. I know there are way easier methods than what I'm doing in regards to transferring old layers. And believe me, I did try the one where you transfer it into another one and then you just keep layering it on top of it. That way it all lays in one sheet, and then you'll lay it and heat transfer it. But it was not working for me, and like I said, it was really early in the morning and I was just so exhausted, so any little shortcut I could find I was willing to take. That way I could try to get some sleep before the big day, also because I did have to work right after it. So I know there's a lot easier methods, but this is what I ended up going with for this particular project. So I went ahead for the smaller logo, just cut up the colors, went ahead and had the sheet cut per section depending on the color. That way I didn't have to keep putting them in and changing it. Now you might have noticed, but the logo is backwards. I did not mirror the small logo, and I was so proud that I had finally finished. And when I went to go show my hubby, he goes, "It's backwards." And I was so sad, and I almost wanted to give up, but I couldn't do that to my sister. So instead of cutting everything, I decided to go into a different method, and that was cut a big piece of yellow heat transfer paper, vinyl I should say, put it on top to cover it, kind of like a tattoo cover up, something big and bold. That way I did not have to take out anything. I just cover it and then layer it, and then no one would ever know except me and everyone who's watching, but that's okay.
So after finishing covering up my mistake and being pretty happy with the end result, all I had to do was finish up the sleeves for the arms and the legs. They're very large on her in length, so I had her try it on and cut for me where she wanted me to sew it for her. And that's pretty much what happened there, and then I ended up sewing it for her. All I really ended up doing was folding it once, about half an inch, and then folding it over again, and then that was it, all done. My sister had a really great time at her first Comic Con. Here are some pictures of her posing as her character that she is cosplaying as. She wished there was more anime themed characters, but I told her on 2022 when Anime Con goes on in New York, we'll definitely go a lot bigger on her cosplay, and she'll definitely have more fun as she'll see more characters that she loves. Thank you so much for watching my episode today. Hope you enjoyed it, and I hope to see you next time. Bye!